Upon research in the databooks, it's pretty apparent that Kishimoto wasn't looking too deeply into expanding this concept. From the databooks, the most notable Kekkei Genkai are, as stated, Typhoon Release and maybe Sound. From the research I found before Naruto Shippuden was even midway done, I found a different list of Kekkei Genkai that went as follows: Sound, Light, Phasing, Shadow, and Flight Release. So, let's dive in. Since the databooks don't really list a good amount of Kekkei Genkai to analyze, we'll look at the two it lists, since Sound is on both lists and Typhoon clashes with the results for list 2. Typhoon is vaguely stated to maybe be a Wind style Kekkei Genkai. Also, 2 of the releases from list 2 are considered Kekkei Genkai for Yin and Yang release, so it's even more confusing to explain. The easiest and possibly the only Wind style Kekkei Genkai that can truly be confirmed is likely only this one. Sound Release is a special Wind Kekkei Genkai, but it's unexplored what it could be mixed with. List 2 suggests that this release is advanced Wind style, but the people that use this release use it in a particular way that suggests that this release could indeed be a combination of Wind and Yin release. The most noteworthy people that use Sound in the series are Tayuya, Dosu Kinuta, and Kintsuchi. The way all of these kids use Sound was in manipulation of some Yin release concept. Tayuya used Sound to control her summoning puppets and cast Genjutsu, which is a Yin release technique, while she also used Yin release spirits to attract themselves towards the physical energy of her opponents as they crave balance, being composed of more Yin than Yang. Dosu also used his ability to manipulate something without form, hence his ability to manipulate sound waves, similar to how the Nara clan manipulates shadows, which are also formless objects. Kin used her sound to also cast Genjutsu, which is again a Yin release ability. There's much more suggesting Sound Release is an advanced Wind style, but I'm personally content if this were the Kekkei Genkai affinity for this combination. I personally think that Typhoon Release fits here much better though. The release for this combination is iffy for both suggestions. One suggestion is that Typhoon Release goes here, which isn't too unappealing or contradicting, but list 2 suggests that Shadow Release goes here. Now the reason Shadow Release definitely doesn't go here is the fact that it's explained multiple times that Shadow Release isn't a Kekkei Genkai, but rather a hiden technique, similar to the Akamichi expansion. Shadow and Dark Release, usually synonymous for some reason, even though they're completely different, are variants of Yin Release and can actually be learned. They're not just taught outside of certain clans. Hence why every person or clan that uses this release uses it completely different. Gengetsu makes this apparent during the war as he's coaching the ninja present on how to beat him. He explains that Genjutsu, Shadow Release, and Yin Release are all one and the same. It seems that high-level Genjutsu are considered to be like Yin Release Kekkei Genkai in a way. Madara even uses a variation of Shadow Release with his 6-path lightning attack. Even though water seems to be a staple in a way for Shadow Release, considering Shikamaru carries around a water scroll and his son didn't have problems learning Wind style so effectively, excluding his mother being a Wind style user herself and Gengetsu being from a predominantly water-based village, it's still not too safe to say that this combination is indeed Shadow Release. As for Typhoon Release, there wasn't any water present during the activation of the Typhoon Release Jutsu used, especially during the Sasuke Gaiden arc. But that doesn't automatically mean that Typhoon Release can't be this combination. It's more likely to be Advanced Wind style if anything, which begs the question of what this combination could actually be. Maybe it's Torrent style? Now, this combination actually seems to make the most sense out of all of the Wind Kekkei Genkai. Flight Release could actually be this combination specifically, as it doesn't contradict the people we see flying knowing both Wind and Fire Release. Onoki is the main person we see flying before God powers are introduced, and his particle style fuses Fire, Wind, and Earth Release for Kekkei Toda. So it's not too far-fetched to assume that Flight fits this combination. Possible variant of this ability or replacement could be the Swift Release, as it's noted to be an elemental Kekkei Genkai instead of a Yang Release variant, which it seems likely to be. This combination has a variant dubbed Phase Release from List 2, but I believe this is more of a density control affinity. While the only phasing and density control we see are Earth exclusive, it's not too outrageous to claim that at least Onoki's density control abilities are of this Kekkei Genkai, considering we see no one else able to use his density altering abilities. There is one ninja from the Sora filler that uses a special density technique that Yamato notes as being too advanced for just an Earth style jutsu, but he didn't show any Wind Release abilities, so this combination is also iffy. This combination is a bit interesting as there's two possibilities. One is the Light Release, while the other is the Swift Release. Swift Release is much more plausible here than Light Release, as I explained what Light Release is in the Lightning Release Kekkei Genkai video of this combination. Although Light Style is used by the Hidden Cloud Sensory Ninja, it's seen more as like a Genjutsu. Plus, the people that have Light Release are usually Sensory Ninja, and Light Release is a Yang Release variant, making Sensory a body augmentation, especially considering how much of a boost Naruto got for his Sensory after he got his Ashura mark. Light Release does seem to be a lightning variant, and Naruto's strongest affinity is Wind Release, so I could see how it can be assumed that this combination creates this release, but since Naruto doesn't showcase Lightning Release, and Light Release is quoted as being synonymous with Yang Release throughout the near end of Shippuden, it's very safe to say that this combination is definitely not Light Release. Swift Release makes more sense here, as it's a speed related ability, and lightning is usually synonymous with speed, while wind is usually synonymous with amplification. Hence, abilities like the Flying Raijin being speed based, and wind being used to amplify things like in the collaboration ninjutsu during the Guren arc, wind amplifying fire, and wind adding amped power, as seen with the damage output of the Rasen Shuriken versus the normal Rasengan variants. It's understandable how this could be the combination for Swift Release, the best if it's supposed to be an elemental Kekkei Genkai. The only other combination this could be would be a combination of Yang Release and either Wind and Lightning Release. List 2 has Sound weak against Blaze and strong against Magnet, Light weak to Scorch and strong against Gravity, Phasing weak to Plasma and strong against Storm, Shadow weak against Magma and Lava Release and strong against Radiation Release, and lastly, Flight Release weak to Boil Release and strong against Shock Release. This was the most complicated Kekkei Genkai list to make, as there's much less to go off of than any other element. There's supposed to be this stigma of this element cancels this one, so they shouldn't fuse, yet most of the known Kekkei Genkai are combinations of elements that should cancel each other out. Look at Boil Release, Wood, crystal, explosive, storm or gale style, flight to an extent, and swift release if it's a combination is its most likely elemental combination. That stigma is completely null by the series itself. I hope there's more confirmation in the future for these Kekkei Genkai, but until then, this is the information I found surrounding the issue of the Kekkei Genkai for this affinity. Let me know your thoughts and concerns in the comments. I hope I answered as much as I possibly could about the topic to satisfy your curiosity enough until there's more information to be discovered from the writer. Like, share, and subscribe for more anime content. Until next time, stay lazy.